listening to the Savvy Musician Show with Leah McHenry, and this is your secret weapon for success in the new music industry.
Well, welcome once again to the Savvy Musician Show. This is CJ Ortiz. I'm the branding and mindset coach here at the Savvy Musician Academy. And once again, always delighted, I'm the honored one who gets to sit across from the lovely Leah McHenry. How are you?
Doing really good. Thank you.
I say always a pleasure, but I actually see her a lot more often than you might think. We don't just get together for podcasts. This is a good time for us because we can spell out for all of you interested listeners all the wonderful, intricate details about music marketing, which is becoming more and more a popular thing, Leah. I see more and more people offering or trying to offer something somewhat similar. And I'm just, call me biased, but I still think SMA is the most extensive, comprehensive, in-depth, multi-level, 4-level chess version of music marketing. Am I wrong?
I have to agree. I mean, and not just because I'm the creator of it, but I think, the more I see out there, and in a sense, I always say, if this is a good thing, it's a good thing there's more people out there trying to help musicians, or what it tells me is that musicians are waking up and that there's a demand for knowledge, there's a demand for, leveling up, and we are accomplishing the very thing we're trying to do, which is help people gain an awareness and understanding of what they're capable of in today's music industry without labels. So in a way, it really tells me this is a very, very good thing. Unfortunately, you have to use a lot of discernment when you're, pick and choose who you're learning from. And I always say, choose somebody that you want to emulate, who speaks to you, that resonates with you. And I don't resonate with everybody. That's totally fine. You got to choose somebody who you do resonate with, but choose somebody who's doing what you want to do, because they'll know firsthand how to do it. So if you want to be like me, learn at least to be able to have control over your career, like when you want to release something, when or if you want to tour. So that's never an issue for me. Like, I just do what I want when I want to. And often I'm sometimes too ambitious for my own good, but I'm still the one at the end of the day making the decisions. And you can't ask for anything better than that. So
no. Let me say this, though, a biased source here. However, let me say this, though. I've been 30 years in design, marketing, advertising, communications, etc. So this has been my whole adult life. So I've seen it all. I've seen the advent of internet. I've seen every industry change and be impacted by new technology, etc. And I have seen now up close for a few years all the different marketing offers out there for music. And I will say this, when I look at a lot of what you would consider to be Leah's competition, it's usually focused on a few things. It may be focused on, Spotify listening, get your Spotify listening up, or it may be focused on being on YouTube, or it may be focused on, getting more people tickets sold at your event, what have you. None of it is really comprehensive. So when you're talking about a total system for anybody in any of those situations. And so something interesting you said to me just the other day, you went to go speak at a private event, a high ticket private event where there was world-class vocalists in attendance. And these are people who are on the shows, right? They're on the big, and you did your basic presentation that you've done on webinar for everybody, online. And you were taken aback by how many of them were just furiously taking notes because they weren't doing anything like this. So that's how much this is not understood. So people like that who don't really understand, and I'm talking to the people who are listening, then it's going to be hard for them to be discerning at times because they don't necessarily know what they should be looking for, which is what I appreciate about us doing the weekly podcast, is because we get the opportunity to present in volume fashion all of the elements that are involved. Just look through the current archives of podcasts now. Look at how many different topics are being covered. And we're covering another one in a different way today, but all to say is Savvy Musician Academy, for me, with the trained eyes that I'm looking through, is the most comprehensive thing that I've ever seen, not just in relation to music marketing, but marketing in general. That's just why I've linked arms with you, Leah, and your team. And well, I am a part of your team. Let's just say it that way. So that's why I got on board. So for those who are listening, yeah.
And it's interesting too. When I started Savvy Musician Academy, I didn't realize that, that you could do something other than comprehensive. Like, to me, it was like, and it probably has something to do with my worldview, that it has to touch on everything. How you do one thing is how you do everything. And if you don't touch on these other things, then it's incomplete and not going to be effective. So for me, it has to, you can't talk about building a fan base without addressing your niche and your brand and your image and all these other things. And we can't talk about a Facebook ad without talking about, the core of who you are as an artist and, your background and who your fans are and getting into it has to be comprehensive or it won't be effective. If it's not comprehensive, it's a silly tactic and nothing more. And it will change next week.
Well, and that's a big thing. That is a really, really big thing. And I'll mention more about the Savvy Musician Inner Circle. For those of you who don't know about it, it's the new newsletter that was just launched. But the gist of it is that in this newsletter now, which is subscription based, we're putting out all the information, the up-to-date information on everything that's changing in technology, in marketing, in social media that relates to musicians and artists and creators, because it's always changing. And so you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket. Like, I've seen some of these other music marketing and they're only about YouTube. You look at their Facebook page and it doesn't have the engagement. They're not teaching about email. So that means the whole premise is they're showing you how to build something on someone else's real estate. You don't own anything yourself as a musician. And so, that's why, guys, I recommend what Leah does, because she's all about really helping you build your empire and protecting that.
There's just something that even happened yesterday. I got tagged in a random thread in a ClickFunnels Facebook group. And I don't even ever go in there. I've had a ClickFunnels account in the past and I've been experimenting with different software. Anyways, for some reason I got tagged and someone had asked, hey, does anybody here use ClickFunnels to market their music and build their email list? And everybody started going, oh, you should follow this person. You should follow this person. And some of them are colleagues of mine or competitors or whatever you want to call them. And they started listing all these people. And I said, well, wait a minute. Why are you assuming this person is asking about who he wants to learn from as marketers? I said, well, are you trying to market your own music or are you trying to market teaching? And it was something completely different. I was like, first of all, don't assume, right? Ask this person what they're actually asking. And it was, no, I want to market my client's music. I said, okay, first of all, everybody's going on, oh yeah, so-and-so and so-and-so. Oh, these other people, they're all ClickFunnels, this, that, and the other thing. I said, well, since you tagged me, what I'll tell you is that I do not use ClickFunnels and it's not great for music marketing. And here's why. If you're serious about marketing music and selling volume at any rate with physical or digital, ClickFunnels doesn't play nice with Shopify. It's extremely difficult and clunky and doesn't really work well at all. And I know because I've tried this. So for that reason, Shopify absolutely has to be a must. If you're gonna have any success online with selling physical merchandise, Shopify is a must. So that just goes to show, all these other people who they may love a certain piece of software or something, but I don't know how many people are actually going to tell the truth about some of these things.
Well, I mean, it's comparable because it shows that people don't understand how comprehensive something needs to be, that you can't have one thing. Somebody may not think that the integration between Shopify and ClickFunnels is an important thing because they're not even thinking about merchandise, for example. Whereas that's the beauty of SMAs, the Savvy Musician Academy, is that we're talking about everything from Spotify to Shopify.
Yeah.
It's about the integration and it's about, you recommend certain software in that, for email and for this and for that because of problem. You've tried everything, you've experienced the problems, etc. And then you constantly keep everybody up to date with the latest changes. You'll come in, do a video, show, hey, this particular software added this feature. This is going to be important for you to understand. So here's my screen. Let me show you what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So you are constantly updated with the very latest. And we go into, in our elite group, into so much about psychographics and copywriting and the hardcore principles of direct marketing. We're not relying upon a funnel software. It's not getting the right software that makes this work. It's sales. This is sales.
Exactly. I mean, that drives me nuts too when people think that it's the tool or the software and that's the magic pill for success. None of it matters. I mean, really, if you had none of it, the question is, can you sell anything? Do you know how to sell anything? So then it doesn't matter. You can make anything work. But I think it disturbed me when I'm seeing like all these people thinking that ClickFunnels is going to really work when I'm like, you haven't even thought so far as to like how you're going to sell volume of merchandise. You're not thinking about e-commerce. Yes, you can sell physical things through ClickFunnels. Some people have had tremendous success, but we are dealing with an e-commerce society. And
right.
They expect a certain experience. And I think also, I will just say, in case anybody is wondering if I like ClickFunnels, no. I mean, I think there's some great people and great teaching that has come through that, but Facebook doesn't like ClickFunnels. If you use ClickFunnels as like your landing page software, it's pretty well known that they're like, I don't know, you want to call it like ghosted or blacklisted or whatever, but your ads will be more expensive. Also, like the speed load,
Right.
the load speed of ClickFunnels pages is too slow, and Facebook is now penalizing when you send traffic to a page that doesn't load lightning speed fast. You will be penalized for that. So they will lower your reach, or your ad costs will go up, things like that. So for those reasons, Shopify remains the best. It is the fastest for sending any kind of traffic there for people to buy stuff. So that I just wanted to get that out of my system.
No, I think that's really important. And again, first of all, at the ground level, Leah is going to teach you how to sell physical products. So it's not simply digital downloads or a CD or vinyl. It's getting into the depths of how to get the right design for your shirt, what to put on shirt, what other kind of products can you potentially sell, the whole drop shipping, print on demand aspect of things. It gets into integrating these things with email providers. And like Leah said, something as simple as knowing that your particular software you're using over here for a funnel system is being penalized by Facebook. This is the kind of information that's shared all the time within the Savvy Musician, especially the elite group. We talk about these things because they're all pertinent and relevant. And somebody can sit there and think, Leah, hey, I'm an artist, not a marketer.
You're always marketing. You're either doing a good job or a bad job, but you're always marketing.
Yeah, you're marketing. And so the point here with something like SMA is, again, it's comprehensive. So in other words, it's totalism. We leave no stone unturned when it comes to what's important for you. And even if, for example, you're not wanting to do what Leah does, which is, the stay-at-home mom who's not necessarily touring right now, that you can just make a revenue from selling your music and merchandise online. You can still use every bit of what Leah teaches in her courses to get people out to events. Anything you need to sell, any message you need to get out there is covered in the Savvy Musician Academy. Now, for me, I really believe, and I've said this before, that this is probably the most important thing, and not just for musicians, as we said before, for artists of all kinds, creators, authors, you name it. I mean, you could literally be an author or some sort of other creator and be a part of the Savvy Musician Academy and be light years ahead in your own industry just because the principles apply.
Oh yeah. And that's the thing, is we built the programs not off of the music industry. We built the programs off of what works online in any business. It's just business and marketing principles. So, I mean, that's how I had any success at all was the very beginning. We'll get into my story, maybe in this part too, but I stopped studying the music industry. The only reason I had any success is because I stopped studying that and I started studying business and marketing, online marketing, like what's working for anybody online. I was desperate. So let me just try that. It was very weird, very awkward to try and apply it because I had to, it's like, this is weird. I'm not selling socks or like paint or something that people need, to like fix their sleep apnea. Like, this is not a need. This is art. And how do I make people need art? Like, where's the pain point in trying to sell music? Everyone's saying you have to press into a pain point. I'm like, I don't know how this solves pain. This is weird. I don't know what to do. So it was a very awkward transition. And I was so worried about being salesy. I was so worried about turning people off. I didn't want to bother people, worried about emailing them too often. All those things that every person, not just artists, every person when you're building a business goes through that phase where they're just like not sure where the boundaries are, how much is too much, what's too little, how do I get the messaging right? You have to find your voice online because you have your own personality and like, how much of that do I show? I feel very exposed. There's so many elements to having an online presence with your fans and just getting used to being in the public eye, but for the whole world rather than just, for 30 people at a gig. It was just so awkward. However, when I did manage to bridge that gap, that's where everything really changed for me. And I just started applying things, even if they felt weird and uncomfortable and not even like it quite fit for music, I still did it. So that's where all my success came from the beginning. That's where I made, my first $30,000, $50,000, and then $100,000 in a year was from applying awkward business principles that I didn't know how they would fit in music. And so you have to understand, I guess we've said before, it's in my DNA to teach and like be able to take principles that are maybe even abstract at times and put them into extremely practical steps, because maybe it's I also have kids and I've homeschooled and I don't know, not everybody's cut out for that, but I've been able to figure out how to teach it to thousands of people. And they're able, like, that's probably the number one thing I hear from them is they love my teaching style and that it was easy to follow, easy to implement. And that I taught what was important and I gave them all the things they needed, but without the fluff. Because I really don't, I don't like wasting time. I don't like other people wasting time. And I know that our attention spans are short. So I like to get to the point on things. All that to say that our program, Savvy Musician Academy, it's all built on what works in digital marketing and what works in business. And they're timeless principles. Yes, tactics change, platforms change, algorithms change. And that's what our Savvy Musician Inner Circle is for. Those are addressing those things. So whether you're a student or not, even if you're an advanced student or you're at the beginning, you never built a fan base, everybody needs to be consuming that content. Everybody needs to, because that's where we are addressing that. But regardless of that, we are very much a principle-based company. And when I come out with my book, so I'm going to seed that right now. When I come up with my book that I wrote like a while back, that's a book that I want to stay on your shelf that stays relevant for the next 20, 30 years. Something that you can go back to that becomes a classic that's not based on the current algorithms, because that, I'd have to write a new book every year. And so that's why I think we have grown and why we have so many students from around the world is because they can actually take these principles and apply it into other businesses. We actually hear about it all the time, where we have people who are their personal trainers, hairstylists, other people who have other day jobs. And they're like, I didn't expect to like come out of this with a marketing degree, but that's what I feel like I got here. I feel like I went to school without going to school, except I actually learned something that was relevant. Because I also heard a statistic that, in today's modern colleges, by year 3, after they've come out with a course, that information is now obsolete. So the other benefit of going to an online program or academy, of course, it's a fraction of the price of what you pay for college courses and university courses. And it's always going to be up to date. We always update it every year as often as needed. So I just think that is what an amazing time we live in, that you guys have the privilege of being able to have access to that kind of thing.
Yes, they're a fortunate position because, you have gone through a lot of this and purged, as you said, of the fluff and got things narrowed down to what's relevant, what works, what's most timely. But because, again, it's so comprehensive, then you are learning so much, which, again, makes the point that somebody can go out if they're a hairdresser or a trainer or something and apply the very same principles, have the very same software, same approach, same copywriting, all that stuff. Learn all of this and be able to experience the same sort of quick turnarounds, have the same sort of revenue goals that anybody else would have. To me, again, and to be able to do this from the comfort of your own home, as they say, to be able to do that and take courses like this. What's so important to contrast you again with these other online marketers is that you have not isolated this down to one thing. It's not YouTube views,
Yeah, if you could only get this many subscribers.
Yeah, talk to all, I see them all the time now. All the guys and gals, YouTube influencers who help build YouTube are now ranting and raving because YouTube changed the rules now. A lot of them got deplatformed because some of them were political, right? Yep. And they're crushed. Hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of ad revenue they were getting, gone overnight. Absolutely gone overnight. Others, because what YouTube is doing now, YouTube is now making all their rankings for all the major news networks and Disney and all that sort of thing. So all the, high subscriber, high view YouTube influencers, they're way down. So they don't show up on the suggestions anymore. They don't show up in the rankings anymore. So it's crushing them. So now they're running for Patreon accounts and Bitcoin accounts and, hey, share this video because YouTube has taken us away. Well, wow. Yeah. So why would you want to take a music marketing course that's all about building YouTube views, right? And besides that, how are you going? Great. You got 1 million views on YouTube. Who knows what revenue you're going to get out of that, A, yeah. And then B, with what we teach in the elite course and even an online musician is when you've got Facebook pixels running on the landing pages for people who are watching your video or watching even your video on Facebook, you're getting all of that information, all of those people that you can retarget later. I don't know how anybody with 1 million views on YouTube is retargeting 1 million people. That you might as well have nobody viewing your video. Yeah. You get 1 million views on a YouTube video and Facebook will keep all of those people who watched your video. We'll keep a record of them, and you will be able to literally create a list that you can then send ads or more content to, bring them to your page, get them on your email list, and now you own your own empire. That's the difference.
Oh, yeah. And I think YouTube and Google, they're trying to now copy things that Facebook has done because it obviously works very well, but it is such a pain in the butt, believe me. And I always have to tell our students, listen, if it's not in the course, don't do it. I didn't put it in there for a very specific reason, not because I'm trying to withhold anything from you. I'm the first person that wants your success. Believe me, I want to see your success story. I want to plaster you all over the internet about how amazing you have done and what you have accomplished. If I didn't put it in there, it's for a very good reason. And you need to trust me as your mother. that I'm eat your vegetables. Listen, I didn't put it in there for a reason, and it's to protect you from wasting time or money or effort that is not that productive. So if you have, unless you have an unlimited budget, don't be spending it on YouTube. Don't be trying to do, they are trying to do the whole custom audience thing like Facebook, but it is not even comparable. It is a beast, and we don't even use it at all in SMA for a reason. Not that we won't experiment, and if things change, guys, we update things. But as of right now, you don't need to even be there. So I don't know how, it's a good point. I didn't think about other people in the space teaching this stuff that are very platform centric. It's just master this one thing. Whereas I see if you're going to have long-term success, you need to just learn how to market. Just learn how to market, and then what platforms will come and go. But then you'll never be taken aback by it. You'll not be MySpace. Once upon a time, MySpace was the Facebook, and people had millions of followers, and it was the YouTube, it was everything. And then like what happened there? It just went poof. It was gone. People like never were able to contact their followers. Like they lost everything. So don't make the same mistake with Facebook or YouTube or anything. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. The best asset you can ever build is your email list, because you control that. No one can take that away. And, you know, you can create audiences, lookalike audiences from it. You can do all kinds of really ninja stuff with it. But the bottom line is that if it all went away tomorrow, I could still make a living from my email list. Hands down. Yeah.
That's the key. That's the key. I mean, you can find a good salesperson, right? A good salesperson. And you look at their job history, and they've been with several companies over their career. Because that's what salespeople do. They're going to go sell this, they're going to go sell that. But because they're good salespeople, they will never, ever, ever be without a job. They will never be begging for money, because they know how to sell. And every company needs someone who can. What you're going to learn and what we talk about is how to be a marketer, how to be a promoter of your particular brand. Now, more than just, we're not talking about be the used car salesman, nothing like that, like that. We're talking about the full scope and dimensions of sales is going to be everything from subtle to straight on. It's going to be, you're going to learn all of that sort of stuff. The point is that you'll finally take your music into that business level. You'll finally see yourself as a music business, and not just an artist trying to get somebody to come save them, trying to get somebody to come find them, hoping a video or song will go viral, or maybe a record label will pick them up, or maybe Bandcamp will do it for them, or maybe Bandzoogle will do that for them, or whatever. Maybe they'll get enough Spotify views. No, you'll be able to target your ideal fans, people who already like your kind of music. You're going to be able to build a social media following, but not just to have those metrics, vanity metrics, but to be able, like Leah just said, to take those people and get them onto your dedicated email list. Think about this. You know, I would rather have 10,000 radical super fans of my music on an email list than 10 million views on a YouTube video.
Oh yeah, any day.
I can keep, like you said, so long as you had your email list, if all the platforms went away, you could continue to sell. Now, it's not just having an email list. You got to know how to groom it, nurture it.
That's right.
You got to know how to build that relationship. You got to find your voice. You got to know your brand. We talk so much about branding and social media influencing. We're not just hardcore on the software or the marketing stuff. We get into Facebook groups. We get into building community. We get into studying culture.
That's right.
Right. All of these things. And they are all a part of it under this general big rubric we call marketing, digital marketing. And let me tell you something, like Leah said earlier, this is the new era in which we live, ladies and gentlemen. You think, well, I heard email is dead. No. You can't do anything without email. Everything is going, just the fact that everything is now going to e-commerce. I said this to you recently, Leah, where I'd gone to the shopping mall that I've been to, a beautiful mall. It was a ghost town. Did people stop buying things? No. They're just not going to physical stores that much anymore. And so you'll see it even in the holidays this year. You're probably going to be able to find a parking place at the mall.
That's right. Let me tell you something. I am beginning to plan for Black Friday right now in August because of this. E-commerce and the fourth quarter of the year is the biggest. I mean, it is the biggest quarter of the year for anybody selling anything online. And I'm actually planning, after we record this, I'm going to be making a video for our elite students that I'm posting in the Facebook group. And I'm going to be walking them through my whole Black Friday plan, what they need to be doing in the month of August, what they need to do in the month of September and October, November, all the way up to December to properly, do this and make the most money they've ever made this year with their music, because people have no idea. I mean, that's just a fact. That's the way people are shopping now.
Yeah. And so you can't do anything. You can't buy anything on any commerce website, especially Amazon, without having an email address, period. And if you want to keep up with your tracking information, they're going to be sending you emails. You book a flight, they're going to tell you what email address you'd like to use. Everything is based on email. Ergo, how could email be dead? Email is very much alive. What's dead is spam.
Right. Or like grandma forwarding you, the whatever bunnies frolicking in the field or whatever they used to get so many forward. But so that went to Facebook. That's what Facebook is for now. We get all their cat memes and we get all of that there. But email is certainly not going away. It's certainly not dead. It's a little more transactional than it was. But people definitely, newsletters are not dead at all. Like people, my husband subscribes to financial newsletters that he reads them. If you sign up for Markers, you get a ton of emails from those people. There's a lot of people getting newsletters and still like reading them, engaging them, especially other artists that they care about. I read every email from artists that I love. If I get an email from them, I always open those. So I think there's special relationships still that are interacting in the ways that maybe you are doubting, but it is happening. And it couldn't be more true than in the e-commerce setting. So the point is, with all of this, learn how to be a good marketer, and you will not be fazed by platforms and changes, because this will be like, okay, there's a change, or this platform's not doing well. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to learn how it works. And because I've got my brand in order, because I understand my culture and I found my voice, I know how to be my authentic self in a way that inspires people to want to support my art. And I'm confident in that. And I have no guilt whatsoever by saying the words "buy now." Or go to this link and purchase. And you have full confidence in that. Do you know how life-changing that is? Do you know that when you can get to that place, you not only can support yourself in your own music career, but there's no reason why you couldn't build something else on the side and do $1 million, because that's the power of these principles. It's the same thing. Like, it's the same thing that Grant Cardone or any of these other people out there, Tim Ferriss, they're all using the same principles to do what they do. So that's why I say you need to think much bigger. You're still thinking small potatoes. I guarantee if you're listening to this, you are thinking like, oh, how do I make my next $100? You need to think bigger than that. How do I make my next 100,000, 200,000? That's where you need to go.
Right. Financial security for you means become a good marketer, right? Learn marketing. And that's because something will always need to be marketed, So, and I want to just take this opportunity again. As I said earlier, we have launched the Savvy Musician Inner Circle newsletter. And I love this thing. Leah, you were just talking about how newsletters have not gone out of style. In fact, I'm expecting they're going to become more and more in style. And so again, to help our listeners and those who are in our groups and classes to keep up with everything, the constant changes, and to stay encouraged and to stay motivated, we've created this Savvy Musician Inner Circle newsletter. And it's dedicated to these very things that we've been talking about. And it's true, that not everybody can be in the elite group, and maybe not everybody will buy the online musician course or what have you. We understand that. We want you to get to that place where you can. We want you to start making money so that you can become a part of and invest in yourself. You have to always be investing in yourself. But what I love about the Savvy Musician Inner Circle newsletter, Leah, is that it's a subscription newsletter. So it's one issue a month and it's just $19.99. So, everybody can get that. Everybody can do that.
You have no excuse. You have that laying in your couch somewhere.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, somewhere between the couch cushions or in a pocket in the washing machine. It's in there.
You've got it. So I want everybody who's listening right now to stop what you're doing. And I want you to go to savvymusicianacademy.com/inner circle and go on, or you can go also to the show notes to get the link there. But I want you to go and check out, Leah did a walkthrough video taking you through our first issue. We just published our second one and getting ready to do the third issue here pretty soon. So Savvy Musician Inner Circle is your call to action for today. I want you to go again, check that out and subscribe today. Tell somebody else about it. In fact, you can get your first month for just $1, right?
Yes, you have no excuse. I expect to see you in there. And I want to hear from you about what you thought about it, because we're always going to be working on it and improving it. This is something that I wish I had this resource. I really did. Even a few years ago, I wish there had been something that I could consume. Not even in the marketing world could I find this. So this is amazing. Go sign up.
But for those of you who are listening, also, please do us a favor and go and review this podcast. That always helps other people to find the podcast and helps us to keep high in the rankings. So go to your Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, whatever you're listening on, and leave a comment. Give us 5 stars. We appreciate that. Leah, once again, always a pleasure. We will see you guys next time.
This episode was sponsored by the Superfan System Elite program here at Savvy Musician Academy. If you are looking to scale your existing music business and you're looking to get into advanced digital marketing, such as email marketing, funnels, e-commerce, Facebook ads, and more, and you're looking to build a real profitable online music business, book a call with our team at www.callsma.com. We would love to speak with you for about 30 minutes and see how we can help you. Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast for more episodes, and we'll see you next time.